Alright, I've just got my golf bike in and I want to show you what it comes in. Here's the box and kind of give you the rundown. Everything's packaged really nicely. You can see everything is wrapped up here. Here's the tire, the wheel, it's all tied onto the side. Forks, let's see here, you got your seat, which is all wrapped up. And a bunch of small little things in the box which I'll need to get out. But everything is wrapped up and protected inside of the box, all foam wrapped like a lot of bikes are. And then here is the golf part of it, the main part of it. There's the rack down on the lower side there. I just wanted to kind of unwrap it and show, but this is the bag, and I will show more on there. I believe it has a cooler, has all the slots and the pipes to hold all of your clubs and everything. So I'll show that once I get things put together. But looks very simple. I have been a bike mechanic, so I can handle it. So I told them that I will bypass the warranty if everything is not broken in the packaging. Everything will be easy to put together for me. But I believe, if I am correct, of course, let them do the stating, is that they will have a bike place put it together for you, and they will cover that and pay for it and everything else. But I am stoked. Let me continue to pull things apart and set things out, and I will do another video. But I'm ready to go golf on this thing. Alright, Jeff here, and I'm back. I've got everything kind of unwrapped before I put it together, and I want to show you what we've got. Here's the rack. Getting the coverings off and the protecting is probably one of the hardest parts, but that's what it's there for. Just a few paper wrappings and bubble wrap and everything else. But anyway, so there is the rack, and this, I'm guessing, will go on probably more like this. And then it will have these bags here on the side, and there's a lot of zippers and everything else. As you can see, you can put the clubs down in here. These are hard back, so they'll basically keep the clubs separated out, which is really cool, with some extra pockets on the sides, which is cool. Put more stuff in there. And here's the other one. These are both basically the same, but I think the one goes on one side and one goes on the other, that I will figure out. I think the larger hole is in the front for your drivers. And here is the cooler bag that will go between in the middle. As you can see, here's the rack. I think it's somewhere in here. I'll have to figure it out. Yep, the zipper and all. And really nicely made. It's got foiling inside with some nice insulation with let's see here. Yeah, a neat little extra pocket in the front here. It looks like you could easily put some balls in there or something. Velcro's up. Very easy removable, which is a cool part when you want to take this off real fast and clean it out. It's pretty cool. I'll show you more about that. Anyway, and here's the bike. So it comes pretty much pre-assembled. Turning the forks around. You don't want to forget to turn these brakes down. They have them turned up so they're not sticking out on the box, I'm guessing. The bars and the gears are all connected already, and here's the stem, which I will put the handlebars in, which are right there, and you can take off the 4 screws and easily put that in. There's a seat, the pedals, and I've got a few tools there that do not come with it. Those are mine. This is pretty cool. If you scratch it and you want to keep it pretty, they send you a little bit of paint with a brush. Some reflectors. One of the screws, the reflectors, was kind of loose and falling apart, but that's no big deal. That's just in the box, so it's all protected so it won't lose. Here's some instructions. Anyway, that'll help you out in assembling the bike if you're going to assemble it and not do the warranty that they say on there. But here's the kickstand. This is definitely going to be a key deal to it. This goes back on the back end where all your weight is and where all your clubs are, which was really cool when I used this bike. It definitely held it, and it stabilized it really nicely when you stop, not like a bike that just falls over. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. The back brakes and tuning. Seat will go in here. I'll remove that and slide that in. Easy to step through. Just a great, well thought out little design that I really had a great time in Colorado, so I had to get one of these things. Anyway, I will get it all put together, And if anything else that I see it's a little bit different that somebody might need to look at or adjust, I will let you know. Off to build. Alright, Jeff here again, and I want to show you, I got everything finished up. It probably took me, again, I'm a mechanic, well, an aircraft mechanic, and I love playing around with things, and I put a lot of bicycles together. So with that said, you're probably looking at about 20-30 minutes. I knew where everything needed to go, so it made it a lot easier, but putting the kickstand on was probably one of the more difficult, as well as the back rack. It's not that it's hard, it's just you need to make sure that you get it lined up correctly, and I'll show you those things. So tool wise, I've got a screwdriver, and I only use the screwdriver to adjust the angle of the brake lever and the gear shift, which I wanted, so when I'm sitting on the bike, get that angle right. 2 crescent wrenches. I used the small one because I needed to get in between to get the pedals on, which was very simple and easy. The big one I used to put the front tire on. The main wrench was the Allen tool. This is a small Allen. It's got a lot of selective on there, but I think it took 3 of those and to put those on. So everything turned out really nice. It wasn't hard or difficult at all. Everything was snugged down. The thing that a lot of people don't know how to do is put on the brakes correctly, and this was probably the more difficult. These need to be towed in a little bit. I did have to loosen up the cable a bit and get that adjusted. Nothing out of standard regular tuning of a bicycle. The back brakes I didn't even touch, and those were working absolutely perfectly on the bike pre-installed. So the hardest part was turning these brake pads over, getting them lined up correctly, and none of this is very hard. You can probably look around and see some YouTube videos on how to adjust and tow your brakes correctly, and you do it with just different little adjustments up here, and then you open them up, make sure you have spacing, and adjusting the spring tension on the left and right side to make sure they center. Not very hard at all, but it is really cool. As I remember getting everything put together here, made me just want to go out and golf pretty bad. So the other more difficult thing is putting this assembly on in the back. This is the kickstand, and I adjusted. It comes with the 4 screws. There is a slot for another screw back here. I'm guessing they didn't put it into the package because it's not necessary, or depending on this placement, this screw may not even touch back in here. It's not needed, it's just one of those small little points I want to let everybody know. So you have these 2 screws here, it connects to the triangle, and then the kickstand is here, and the kickstand folds up to the back. This is the really nice part about this, making a bicycle with all your clubs, which will put a lot of weight back here, and you can see it lines up with that kickstand, and it's a very sturdy and very wide kickstand, which is awesome. That is the key to it. So putting on the rack was one of the more difficult. Getting these to line up correctly. These racks are all welded, and then they're powder coated like this, and sometimes they take a little tweaking. If you need to tweak these a little bit and you decide to do what I did, which is not have somebody else put it together, use your crescent wrench and close it around these and get a little bit of adjustment and tweaking, and then just squeeze them into place. It wasn't hard, but just a little bit of straightening those out, because when they come from China, they may be off just a little kilter. And the bottom one was just a little wider, but that's very simple, as this whole little metal rack is very flexible. So it wasn't very hard. It just needs to be held into place and put those screws in. You can see I put on the back club holders and the cooler here in the center. It's got all the extra little pockets and rings to hook things onto. I'm guessing towels or your brushes or whatever you want. The tubes that go down, I didn't put any golf clubs in yet, but you can see how easy that is. And again, let's see here. Yep, as I said, we got 6 on one side, 6 on the other, so you got a total of 12 clubs that you can carry in the tubes here, and that's plenty for me for sure. I don't use a whole lot of the clubs that I have in my bag. Some of those small irons are definitely not any of my favorite. But if you were carrying a whole assortment, I'm guessing somebody may look at it and say, I'd like to have more tubes. Whatever, I don't think I need that, so I don't care about that. One of the things I thought was a little bit difficult is if you want to take off your cooler, you have to get down in here real tight to this little Velcro strap that's pretty snug back in here. The front one's very easy. I take it off to dump the ice out, and if I had to do that, I have to do this every time way back in here. It's a little tight. This may loosen up. And what I'm thinking actually is I'm probably going to try to move my little Velcro thing to the bottom right here in the center. Put one here and the two in front will be absolutely plenty. I'm not doing jumps and spins and doing some aerobatic type stuff, so I don't think I'm going to be throwing out my drinks out of here with just having one right here in the dead center in the back, which would be very easy to remove and take this out, clean it up, dry it out, do whatever you need to do with your cooler. So that was the only little thing that I've seen. I do a lot of designing of bags, so I see a lot of these little tiny things. But putting these on are really nice and tight. This is snug, it's vinyl. You want to take your time on squeezing it around the rack. But it is vinyl, so it will stretch out and settle in. And then at the bottom, they're attached with a nice Velcro piece here. Once everything settles down on there and starts to relax, I'm guessing they made some adjustment room here because I know all of this will settle in and probably get longer. But other than that, it turned out great. It's a very, very comfortable seat, which is very important when you're just cruising around on a bike like this. Very big, wide tires. They're smaller, it's real nimble in riding it, but very simple to step into and step out of. The gear system worked perfectly. It's all nice rig up here. It's have a nice stem on it and everything else, nice aluminum stem. But all in all, very simple to put together, and I cannot wait to get out and go ride around and do some golf biking. It's really cool. I do a lot of walking, and I could not wait to get one of these bikes to get the exercise as well as the speed of the game, which is really cool. Anyway, that's Jeff Howard, and I hope you enjoy it and pick up and have fun with your golf bike like I am. Off to play. See ya.